Because in Virginia, about 151 years ago, newly freed slaves and African American men, for the first time, were allowed to vote. And African American men gained that included poll taxes and literacy tests and felony disenfranchisement, combined with racial terror lynchings. Those men were disenfranchised. And for decades, African American men and women in Virginia, as across the South, fought, marched, protested, died for the right to vote. In my own family, not in Virginia, but it could have been, my great-grandfather had to take a literacy test in 1901 where he was asked questions like, who was the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court? Who was the Vice President of the United States who was from Alabama? He got all these questions right. And then he had to find 3 white men to vouch for him before he could get the right to vote. My own father, I found among his papers earlier this year a receipt for the poll tax he had to pay in 1948. It's not that long ago. And while the Federal Voting Rights Act made significant changes to end racial discrimination in voting, it was effectively gutted at the federal level in Shelby County versus Holder. And it hasn't been reauthorized. And as a result, a lot of states, and I would argue even here in Virginia, although we've corrected a lot of that, passed laws that, whether intentionally or not, impacted communities of color and language minorities' ability to vote. And when that happens, at the federal level, you have to sue after the fact. And after the fact, your vote has already been disenfranchised, your ability to participate in government taken away, and in many cases, an election already determined. And so this act is to make sure that's less likely to happen here.